Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and I am thrilled to be with some of the cast and the co-creator, showrunner, executive producer. I don't know what other titles you have. Director. I'm sorry, I should have said that. That's totally on me. Of Mythic Quest.
Nailed it.
Right. Listen, I really want to say I love your show. I want to thank you so much for coming into our studio here at Comic-Con. Obviously, you guys have wrapped on the new season. And I don't know how much you're allowed to say. The last group was very guarded, but maybe with you.
I thought you were going to say that they told you everything.
No, they told me they were very guarded. So
we have a lawyer right off camera to.
He's going like this to us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am curious though. What can you tease about the new season?
Megan.
I'd like to know what Charlotte remembers.
Nothing. I don't remember anything. I can tell you that it's really good.
Oh, that's true. That's not a secret. No, we can talk about things that were set up last season. Like Ian and Poppy have left Mythic Quest. They've gone off to start their own game together. So that's one of the big threads of this season. Ian and Poppy setting off on their own.
And it, of course, goes really, really well.
Yeah, it goes.
They just work so well together.
They're off the show by episode 2, and also Brad has gone to prison. So that's a storyline that will be continuing into the next season. When
we meet him, he's getting out of prison, and we'll see what he does with his life. We also have my character, David Brittlesby, running the. You like me to slip in a character right now? Well, I'm left to run the office and run it with a commanding iron fist. So,
right, I'm sure it's going very well at the office.
What's that?
I'm sure it's going very well at the office.
Very well,
running smoothly.
Everything's yes, and Naomi McParagian, who plays Carol, is slowly making her way up the corporate ladder there. So there's a lot more for this season, and she's hilarious.
And our old testers, Rachel and Dana, have gotten together romantically, but split up professionally. So Rachel's gone off to college, and Dana is pursuing her desires to be a computer programmer. So that's also playing into this season. Basically, everyone's apart this season, which made it really hard to film them. We had to get really wide lenses to keep everybody on camera at the same time. And
I'm so curious. The Ian and Poppy stuff on the show is so good, and I don't know how you guys aren't laughing on like every take.
I am. I'm the worst. I break every single take. You can usually see, if the shot's behind my shoulder, you can usually see them going like this. Like, I know there's a scene that we did together where you can see my shoulders. You're being really sad on camera, and my shoulders are just going.
That was my dramatic moment, so it was kind of humiliating, but it was fun.
I know, it wasn't supposed to be funny.
No, it was not.
What I'm curious about is how much is every sort of line scripted? How much are you guys in the moment, coming up with stuff? Can you sort of talk about the balance?
I would say a lot of it is scripted, and we pretty much always use everything that is scripted. And then as we shoot the scene and it progresses, we'll start throwing things in and it will evolve. And Rob, obviously, and David too, have been doing this for so long because they're really old. And so they're like so good at it, and I feel like often I'm just like along for the ride. So Rob will throw things at me and I'll just make a silly face and people will be like, that's funny, and I'll be like, no, it's not. It's just because I can't think of anything clever.
But we have the familiarity of working on Sunny in Philadelphia, obviously, so there is that idea of like we have the script, and then on the second, third take is like, oh, that's funny, do that again, and let me respond. A lot of times it'll be just keep rolling. Let's do that one more time. So there's a lot of like just stopping, throwing something out, or Megan will throw something out from behind the monitor, and we'll just add it in on the moment, which helps keep it exciting and fun to discover new stuff.
Yeah. Megan always runs in with the best alts. I feel like whenever I see Megan running towards me, I'm like, oh, something good's coming. I'm going to make someone laugh.
I have a different feeling about that.
I wrote that response for her, so she made it sound improvised, but that was...
That's how well we work together.
Yeah. I'm so curious. So the night before you're going to film a scene, how much are you looking at the script and thinking about alts the night before? How much is it like that morning, and how much is it really in the moment?
Oh, I
What's
do
the
it on
right thing to say.
I know. I am prepared to do my job.
And I always learn my lines the night before too.
Yes,
I know them on the day.
I do not look at the script. I look at the script the day before, but I'm more like getting my idea around like what it is we're shooting the next day. But I tend to just do it on once we're there, because often with comedy, like, you feel it out while you're actually rolling, and you feel what's feeling funny, and then you want to go towards that place. So you can't really tell that off the page sometimes. Plus, I'm very busy.
But I would say too, like when we're in terms of your last question too, a lot of times you get the scene, you know, you're looking at the scene that you're about to do and you're rehearsing before, and you're just in a room with, you know, the EPs and the actors, and you're like, it feels like we should change this a bit, you know. So there is some changing. There is some once you feel it out. Like sometimes you just have to feel out and be on your feet with people.
I have a question. Does it ever happen where you say that, where it's like, I don't know if this is working, and then there's silence, and you're the only one who feels that way, and you're like, I'm gonna walk away now.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, you have to pitch. You have to be like, but what if we do this? But
Bad idea, but what if?
Happens. Some scenes work really great on their feet, and then some scenes you're like, I feel like let's just cut this part. And so there's always a little bit on the fly. But that usually happens in rehearsal where you refocus on the scene.
I love learning about the behind the scenes of the making of series and movies. So for fans of the series, what do you think they might be surprised to learn about what goes on behind the scenes or the making of the show?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an interesting
Nothing.
Maybe you would know this
I know, I'm trying to think.
better.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, but it does sound a little saccharine, is that all the characters on the show are horrible to each other. And then I feel like on set, everyone's after every take, everyone's like, oh, you were so good. You were so funny. Like, I was watching behind the monitors and you were so good.
That's true.
It's a very different dynamic to the characters.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a horrible muck sweat the entire time. I feel like people don't know how sweaty David and Rob and I are while we're making the show, right?
You mean just grinding it out?
Just grinding it out, just like nervous that it's not going to go well, because we put on a nice face for all these actors.
You
We're
hide
like,
it well.
We know what we are doing. Yes, I am in total confidence.
Well,
but
I would
usually
also
we're
say
like, does this
maybe
work?
in the process too, which people might not know, is sometimes we will have the episodes written, and then we'll be like, what if we don't do that and we switch it? Well, then we have to rewrite completely. And there's a part in the season that we normally have where we are completely rearranging things, and then we're throwing a script out, and then all of a sudden we're behind, but it's usually self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I remember in season 1, Rob pitched me what was going to happen at the end. Maybe when we were shooting
Of the show?
of season 1.
Oh.
And
I know what happens at the end of the show.
will you tell me?
No.
Please, you can
No.
say no now and then tell me
No.
later. I want to know what happens at the end
No,
of the
but
show.
talk about season 1.
I don't care about
What
that
if I told you it's
anymore. I want-
already happened?
Oh no.
It's happening right now.
Basically what I was going to say is that he told me what was going to happen, and I was like, oh my God. And then the next day he was like, that's not actually going to happen anymore. It's going to be this. I was like, oh my God. And then the next day he was like, it's actually going to be different to that. So I just feel like I'm always on my feet. I'm on my toes.
Sometimes you're trying to land the plane, it's falling apart, and you land it and you stick it just right. But
you
it wasn't
always
that
stick
always
it
the
just
plan.
right. Yeah.
I actually have a question. So do you know how many seasons you want, or what's the dream?
We
However many
did,
Lasso has.
yeah, I think we want it. No, they're only doing 3.
Oh,
Don't
shit.
say that.
No, we want
Okay.
more
We have to
than
do at
that.
least
Okay.
4. No, we want a bunch. But we just have a general idea we've talked about of where we're headed.
Tell
with that
me.
I can't.
Tell
You know,
me.
we have a
Special
deep bench
thing.
of
We haven't even
cast
told
and
David.
characters that it feels like we have just a work ensemble that you can keep teeing up. What we like to do is keep progressing it, which I think you'll see this season as we break off Ian and Poppy, and we have Dana and Rachel coming into their own and splitting. We're not trying to constantly just do the same pairings, and so we are trying to progress it so you can see the journey from season 1 to season 3, and I think that's however many seasons that will allow. I think we could keep going as long as we'd like.
I mean, Sunny's been on the air for about my entire life, so you never really know.
Yeah.
I am curious with directing. Obviously, I've heard you guys work really fast, which is unusual because every show I hear about is, we're hitting the deadlines. But I'm curious, how much each episode are you trying to throw in like a cool camera shot, or how much are you thinking about, that kind of stuff, and how much is it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. On this show, a lot more, I would say. Like on Sunny, it's like put cameras on them and let them play. But on Mythic Quest, we really try to make things feel cinematic at times. We try to like make it feel a little bit like premium and elevated. So a lot, like in the quote unquote normal episodes of the show, we try to make them look dynamic and interesting. And this year we had directing episodes. Ashley Burch and Danny Pudi directed one, which was really exciting. And they brought like a lot of really cool ideas to set that was, you know, like for interesting shots and things like that, which we cut out of the final episodes, but they were cool to watch on the day. No, but then we do a standalone episode, and I ended up directing like part of one of those this year, and that is way more you know, artistic and kind of
Yeah,
like
more cinematic.
more
typically,
cinematic, yeah.
Than and steeped.
Yeah.
Speaking of the standalone episode, both season 1 and season 2 are exceptional television. Like, wow. What is there a pressure in season 3 to sort of deliver the goods? Because
Yes.
the first 2 seasons, those are, you know, next level.
Yes, I am currently feeling that pressure. I'm in the edit right now on our
We got to close up
standalone
on Megan,
episode.
please. Close up on Megan.
This is the sweaty part that I was talking about earlier. No, I'm in the edit on it, and yeah, tons of pressure. And
well, it's inherently a special episode.
Yes.
So you're
Well,
already like, all right, I gotta live up to that title.
the pressure is also that because it's not part of the season arc, it stands alone. There's always a possibility that Rob and David could come back to me and be like, yeah, so we're just going to not air this one. That's like, we could do that and the season would stand alone. So there was a little bit of that pressure, which is like, oh, they could just say no.
That's never going to happen.
Well,
From what I know
we'll
about the
see.
standalone,
We'll see.
that's never going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, those are always really fun because it's a way that something like you can't do on Sunny or a different show is to break away and do something and tie it into the season. So we always look forward to it.
How does it work when at the beginning of the writer's room, you're stepping in, you're thinking about season 3? How much is it sort of like figuring out the end first and then building towards it? Like, can you sort of take me through, like, how does it all get figured out, or is it episode by episode?
We generally talk about the arcs. Like what have we seen from Dana and Rachel? What have we seen from well, David's going to do the same thing. Let's be honest.
David
But-
always says the same thing.
No, but yeah, what's the overall journey? We don't always know the exact destination. You know, we typically have the phrase of let's just start in the beginning, let's get to the middle, and then we'll get to the end. You know,
Yeah.
but generally we talk about big arcs. And sometimes those start one way, but then we tweak it as once you get into the minutia of actually breaking a story and figuring out those particular individual stories, it doesn't track to what you planned. So, you know,
We
that's
also
part of
did
the
that
process.
thing, which I don't know. I have this on every show that I work on, but you end the previous season and you don't think at all about the next season and how those storylines are going to play out. You're not setting yourself up. You're just writing the coolest ending to that season you can think of, and then you're like, that's next year's problem. So we were dealing with a bit of that when we showed up this year, which is like, ooh, okay, so we decided to split all of our characters up, right? Why do we do that again?
right.
We thought it would be cool.
We
Cool,
sent one
cool.
character to jail.
Yeah,
What do
great,
we?
great, cool.
Yeah, but I've spoken to a lot of directors on movies, and they all talk about the fact that you really can't think about what's coming next. You just have to do the best job you can with what you have and then worry about it later, because there's never a guarantee of another season. There's never a guarantee of another movie. You know, you got to leave it on the table.
We are guaranteed a 4th season, so it's shame on us. We need to know. No, actually, that was one of the luxuries of having a pickup for 3rd and 4th season, is that we were able to say, like, okay, we know we're coming back, so where might we then go for 4th season?
Well, I meant for season 2.
Oh, for season 2.
Yeah, like when you
yeah.
ended season 2, like, you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's great
Yes.
for the
yeah.
you know,
Well,
2
yeah. We
seasons.
wanted to end on a good feeling in season 2, which was there's hope, and but yeah, we never
We
never
could
quite
tear
know.
that all apart
Yeah.
in season 3.
right. Give 'em hope. Yes, exactly.
So we're at Comic-Con, and I love learning about what people geek out over. I'm not sure if you were able to walk the convention floor, but if you did, what would you be looking at and buying?
I did walk the convention floor.
With that leg?
No, it was before the leg happened.
Got it.
I
She
wish
has a sprained ankle. That's what they're
yeah,
talking about.
I
It's below the
sprained my
table.
ankle. I wore silly shoes, and I was going to try to keep it a secret so that people could think of something cool that I did.
Oh, I was going to say I could edit out if you don't want to talk about it.
Please, just I want it to be a mystery, and I want people to think that maybe I was skydiving.
We're going to be editing out the ankle talk.
But I did walk the convention floor, and the thing that I was most excited about was the Avatar, the Nickelodeon Avatar. We got some pictures with Appa. That was a highlight for me.
But it's so funny though. Everyone who grew up with Nickelodeon, it's like every person who comes through is like the Nickelodeon booth. It just goes right to your soul.
Yeah.
You know?
David, what are you going to see?
Is there a Drive to Survive Formula One booth here? That I would geek out over that. I don't. Yeah, a lot of my interests don't necessarily line up with what's here, but I would say that the childhood version of me would be looking for the Robotech booth, because I was very into Robotech, both toys and the worlds. There's part of me that was
The lore.
traumatized by some of the things that happened. It was that the world was obliterated in that show, and so I just that cartoon sticks with me. And I'm always, if I'm in a toy shop or comic book store, I'm like, do you have any Robotech stuff?
You're talking about Macross Saga? What?
What's that?
With Robotech? I could talk Robotech. I'm very sorry. I won't geek out over that. Go on. I could keep going.
Am I talking about? Well, the names are going to escape me. But
it's like with the original Robotech in the 80s, there was like 3 storylines.
Yes.
So it was Macross Saga, then there was
the
2
names
others that I'm forgetting.
Yes.
But
I always thought they were like kind of first generation, second generation,
that
third
also,
generation, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And I do remember there was a soldier giving a woman flowers, and then just like an atomic bomb blew them all away. And I was like 8.
Was this a kids show?
This was a kid's show.
We were too young.
But
Young,
it's-
very
we were
young.
very too young.
So yeah, that's that would be my interests.
I'm going to be on a panel with Ron Moore. And so I have to worship him for my husband's benefit, because my husband is a massive Battlestar Galactica fan. And he tried to show me Battlestar Galactica once, and I didn't watch it closely enough for my husband's liking. So I didn't get to watch the rest of it because I didn't deserve it. So I'm excited to meet him.
He was literally here yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Is he nice?
He's
Okay, great.
super nice.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. No, he's great. Listen, I got to wrap with you guys. I'm just going to say sincerely, cannot wait to watch the new season and the standalone episode that I know will be part of it. And I really want to thank you for coming in, and anything I can do on the site to help promote Mythic Quest. Happy to do it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.